Well, would you look at that? We caught a little bit of ink, so it's definitely time to break this one on down. Shout out to Insider New Jersey, and in particular Max P, for putting a spotlight on the race. The 2019 battle for Irvington South Ward, Beasley versus Shabazz. That's right, David versus Goliath. The underdog versus the establishment. This is definitely how this contest is getting down. So once again, big shout out to Max P and Inside of New Jersey for the spotlight. Mostly relegated to a moribund 2019 general election year afterthought, Essex County nevertheless offers Irvington, specifically the city's South Ward, as contested turf this year, where the scion of a county party icon hopes to secure the balance of time remaining on her seat against a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. Jamila Beasley, daughter of the late freeholder D. Bilal Beasley, once the mastermind of local party operations here, earlier this year filled a South Ward vacancy after the death of Councilwoman Sandra Jones. With the support of Team Irvington and Mayor Tony Voss, her father's political protege, Beasley wants to win in November to complete the balance of to complete the balance of Miss Jones' term, and then run again in next year's May nonpartisan election. First, I want to continue the legacy, said the councilwoman, referring to her late father, who worked alongside L. Bilal Beasley on political campaigns from the age of 8. In 2008, she was first elected district leader to represent the West Ward 2nd District, and in 2015, she filled the vacancy on the Irvington's Board of Education. I lived here in the township, and I want to continue the initiative of putting people first, added Beasley, who worked in the town for 28 years, starting in the Records Bureau of the Irvington Police Department. A lifetime of direct contact with residents makes her the best person and the best candidate, said the councilwoman, who also worked for the Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation Department and Department of Neighborhood Preservation. After working a year in the Department of Neighborhood Preservation, she received a promotion to head the department until her departure in April 2019. She currently works for the city of East Orange in the Department of Policy, Planning, and Redevelopment. Okay, so this is where I guess we can get into the nooks and the crannies of why the establishment is the establishment. It's because of the bureaucracy and the positions that, people who are connected to people are allotted and are afforded. And so you have all these people working for the county, working for different municipalities, basically owing their livelihood to the establishment. It's one of the reasons why the establishment is what it is. And then when it comes to the legacy, you can go check the videos that I've done over the past 2-3 years on the official elected official channel. Like, there's a statue of this woman's father in the township's at the township's municipal hall. So, these people are just dead set on not just having power, but maintaining and operating with that power, just keeping it all for, themselves and the establishment, and to keep the status quo in place. And that's a problem. All right. This is nothing personal. It's just that is a problem. The status quo, the drug war, the policies, all the different policies, all the different programs and initiatives, they're designed that with the piece that comes up, the Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation, that's been around, that's seen absolutely nothing but the dissemination of the neighborhood since its inception. Because it was made in like 80s. It was made in like 81. And it's been nothing but a steady downhill trajectory. And when it comes to Mayor Voss has been in office for for less than, I think about 5 years now. So no knock or anything like that. But this is bigger than you, Mayor Voss. This is bigger than Mayor Voss. This is bigger even than the lady herself or even her father. What they are just representatives of an establishment that worked this municipality into the position that it's in. So, respect to everything that she's done, but none of this sit here and says that she has any kind of policy or legislation that, can actually start to move things in a proper direction, because that's one thing that they never discussed, and it'll never be discussed. It's policy and legislation. No, it's really just about name recognition, particularly in urban communities. Challenger Al Tariq Ibn Shabazz also wants the seat, and November 5th makes his second attempt. In 2016, he ran against Jones and lost 66 to 34%, 621 to 315, but he says he's learned from his mistakes and ready for another shot. Give me a moment. We've made some adjustments, Shabazz told Insider New Jersey, and Sandy was a 15-year incumbent who was well liked by the voters and responsive. Beasley, it should be pointed out, won the symbolic victory of the petition signatures department 500 to 95. But Shabazz is undefatigable. At the heart of his candidacy is the challenger's assertion that Team Irvington is liberal without being progressive. A kid who went to Parris Island at 17, became a sergeant in the Marines, worked as a wellness specialist at Covenant House, graduated from Montclair University with a major in political science and minor in film, and is now employed by the city of Newark. The 37-year-old Shabazz wants to be a stronger labor voice in the council. He also wants to do a better job of engaging Irvington's immigrant community, with a specific eye to avoiding what he cites as the typical city hall strategy to divide groups in order to consolidate power and to engage the city's young people. I could beat both of them. I could beat both of them. I mean, I nothing but love for Al Tariq. I mean, and that's the thing, because he, to an extent, is when it comes to political circles a more established brand than the one that I have. By all means, it would be pointless for us to, to make it a three-way race, which is one of the reasons I, just racist. I don't even bother. You can't even call it bowing out when I don't step in. I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. You take them head on. But he's strong-willed. I'll give him that much. He's strong-willed. He believes everything that he says. I'm not on. I do not agree with everything he says, though. He believes it. He definitely believes it. But I am definitely not of that woke class. But here's the thing, particularly when it comes to urban communities, urban America, the woke class is the prevailing class. People who have, Trump derangement syndrome, and people who believe, I kid you not, I'm on Broad Market, and the POP, People's Organization of Progress people are out there, and they're screaming how there's going to be Klans members just riding horses with torches and nooses down the streets of Broad and Market, and I'm like, I'm not really there with you, but Al Tariq's of that mindset, and that's one of the things that actually makes advocacy for his campaign difficult, because I'm not there, I'm over here where, I like capitalism. I just feel like we should make capitalism work for us, but he's of a mindset and they're of a mindset that, oh my goodness, we just we want to destroy the whole thing, and I'm that's not where I'm at, at all. I'm not of the militant mindset. I am of the pragmatist mindset. But once again, if you ask me to back someone, make sure they're not establishment, right? So regardless, I believe that I can have conversations with Al Tariq and get him to see things after a certain way, after a certain while, to get him on board on a lot of situations. But when it comes to the establishment, I know that I can't. I know that when it comes to the establishment, they are locked into whatever it is their masters tell them to do. And so no matter what, I'll always rock with with the man who has no master, with the man fighting by himself. Because shoot, somebody, you need a hand, bro. Particularly when you're taking on the gargantuan, which is the Essex County Democratic establishment. So yeah, that's why that's the main reason I mess with him. It's not an ideological fight to an extent for me. It's a matter of principle to me. Look, I'm willing to go rock with the devil that I don't know, because the devil that I do know has lied to me my entire life. While Jones was well known in the city, Beasley is arguably the most politically resonant name in Irvington. Married with two sons, Shabazz insists he's well known too, based on his work in the community. He also said he's mentally prepared. On Paris Island, I had my world impacted, he said. It's not the physical piece so much as it is the mental piece. The Marines taught me that anything you put your mind to, you can do it. That pushing yourself to destroy the barriers in your mind, that's what I learned. The late Freeholder Beasley ran with the support of Essex County Committee in 2007 against State Senator Ronald L. Rice and lost. Has Shabazz spoken to Rice about an endorsement? Oh, Senator Rice, the guy that it's a complicated relationship with Senator Rice too, because right now he's the only hope of getting cannabis onto the ballot by blocking the legalization legislation that they've put forward. So I've gone from, hey, Senator Rice, reconsider these things, and in a lot of ways he has. So I have tremendous respect for Senator Rice. I mean, let's not make no mistake, but right now we need Senator Rice to make sure that cannabis gets blocked, so it has to go to the ballot, because we need it on the ballot. We need that freedom back. We need the Constitution amended. And what they're trying to do right now when it comes to cannabis, and I know I'm a little bit off topic, but it doesn't really matter. Nobody watches these videos anyway. You know, they want to make sure that their drug companies, that their stocks do well, as opposed to creating freedoms for everyone else. And that's one of my biggest problems, is that they sit there and sell it on, oh my goodness, we want the most racially involved and all this. No. You want the most control. All right. Let people live their lives. I don't care if you're black, white, green, blue, purple, do what it is that you want to do. All right. But leave the government out of it. Jesus. I've started some conversations with labor and trade unions, but I haven't talked to Senator Rice, the candidate said. The main endorsements I'm seeking are the people of the South Ward. I definitely think this has much more to do with the residents of the South Ward. Shabazz doesn't disparage the concept of team, but questions the council's relationship with the mayor. The council should not consist of the mayor's aides, but serve as a necessary part of checks and balances, which I couldn't agree with more. You know, I mean, in a lot of instances, it's like, you know, oh man, we're a team. But, you know, shoot, like a team can be evil, like a team can do bad. And the deal is that, like, when it comes to the wards and it comes to the positions, yes, you have to have a cordial and a good relationship with, you know, with the mayor, but the mayor's not your boss. The mayor is just another part of the mechanism that is government. So, you know, you're supposed to check them when you can and do and rock when you are supposed to. Voss, who toiled as one of the late D. Bilal Beasley's party loyalists through multiple political fights before becoming mayor in 2014, said his mentor's daughter does the work. Bilal told me once there would be a changing of the guard, the mayor told Insider New Jersey. One of the main things is we have a lot of Johnny-come-latelys out there to show at election time. Okay, Mayor Voss. It's been a while since I've even really addressed Mayor Voss. We're no longer Facebook friends. I really didn't even notice until I saw somebody post something. And I was like, wait a second, I haven't seen a post from this guy in a while. Oh, okay. I mean, that's what it is. My feelings aren't hurt. The deal is that there is, what do you mean, a lot of Johnny-come-latelys when you ran unopposed? Your council people ran unopposed. Like, you guys have basically been steamrolling every election, you know, since you got in there, and since the 2000s, anybody. Like, it's not a township full of Americans and American families where everybody's, like, you know, on the page and seeking to do the best for the town. No, Irvington is a transient town in a lot of cases where, you know, you're either on your way up or you're on your way down. You know, you're not there to stay. You know, it's not a long-term place to stay. It's not really where you would want to build a family, because of the crime, because of all of the issues and the price. I mean, New Jersey in and of itself is ridiculously expensive, but Irvington, the taxpayers of Irvington are not getting what they pay for, particularly comparatively speaking. You can go to some place like Iowa or Montana and pay just so much less in taxes. It's not even funny. The cost of living is so much cheaper. And to an extent, like, how do I put this? because I don't want to knock Mayor Ross. I actually like the guy, but once again, establishment. Once again, he needs the status quo to stay the status quo in order for him to maintain his power. So yeah, you're full of shit too, sir. You really are. You know, and once again, and I want you to notice something in this article is that he talks about his daughter does the work, right? Like, oh, his mentor's daughter does the work, but guess what? He's not going to mention anything that Jamila actually does. Like, he won't be very specific in this. Check this out. One of the main things is we have a lot of Johnny-come-latelys out there to show at election time, which, another thing, I'm not one of those. You guys see my work. I've been putting in this work for a real long time now. Go check out the official elected official if you need a refresher course. Jamila has been involved in the community this entire time, both in civic associations and as an employee in her hometown. But that's the thing. It's a paycheck. Like, as an employee, nah, family, like, you're paid. That's something completely different. And then his involvement with civic associations as someone who had his own damn civic association, I can tell you, minimal at best, I guess. This is someone who cares about the community. Remember, too, her mother is the Democratic chair for the township. What the fuck does that have to do with her, with what she wants to do, with any thoughts or ideas about bettering the town? I'm not hearing it. It comes down to this. I need someone who will work, but it's not about what you need, Tony. It's about what the residents of the South Ward need. I am in constant communication with the community, and everyone understands where we were and where we are. Crime is at a historic low. You know what? I'm tired of this nonsense, because the deal is, and I'll admit, police strategies works. Shout out to Director Bowers. I really like Director Bowers. He's such a cool guy. But like, Director Bowers is my dude. But you know, unless you, Mr. Mayor, or you council rep, or you president, were going to go out and murder somebody, but because you're mayor, you're like, no, I'm not going to go out and murder anybody. I kind of don't want to hear anything you have to say. Like, as far as, like, you know, saying crime stats and shit. Plus, the books get cooked, and I am friends with quite a few IPD officers. And one of the things that I know a lot is between Irvington, Maplewood, and East Orange, things move. You know, like, jurisdictions change and shift, and oh man, I don't want to pick it up. Well, you know, it started down the streets. That type of stuff happens all the time. All right, let's not play around. And you had I think it was like 2-3 officers shot, one kid killed, broad daylight shootout. I mean, that's the thing that irritates me the most, is that they don't point these things out and say, hey, yeah, we got real problems here. Let's change this at a cultural level. Nah, they want to ignore that stuff. We have had 5 this year, 5 the year before, and 4 the year before. Those trends we have set in progress. When I got here, we were averaging 30, the mayor added. But that's the thing, it's not about you. We're talking about the South Ward, sir. That's the thing that really pisses me off. It's always, well, it's not about you, it's about the South Ward. It's about how have you improved the quality of life for the residents of the South Ward. Seeing how we're talking about that race. But it's always about, oh, me and what I did and all this other stuff. And he's sensitive as shit, man. Like, he's soft as baby poop. Because you sit there and be like, well, what about this? He's like, oh, well, because you're bringing up this totally different thing, it has something to do with him. Like, how can you be more narcissistic, my guy? We are ready to take this journey to the next level. When I started, I said, if it's not clean or safe, I can't improve the town. And we have done that. And now we're ramping up plans for major redevelopment all over the town. Thank you, President Trump. And thank you, Opportunity Zones. Right? Because that's where it comes from. You're a facilitator. And that's, my goodness, I really wish there was a little bit more to the story, because so damn infuriating. And you know who don't talk about these types of things? Candace Owens, like your Sean Kings, the Tariq Nasheeds, the Tip Harrises. Nah, they ain't about this type of conversation when it comes to urban America and urban life and the quote unquote black culture, which has been poisoned. I mean, like, nothing against either one of these people. I love them both. I really do. I love them both, and I love them equally as human beings. I want nothing but the best for them. And when November 5th comes, hey, what happens, happens. What comes, what may. But the people of the South Ward, the residents, my people, because guess what? I'm still an elected official. I represent the people of the 7th district. They're still hurting. And there's no relief in sight. And these two ain't even having a damn debate. There won't be a debate. Would you like to know why? Because it's a waste of time. Because the people, the Americans, the people that like genuinely rock with these types of places, or used to, they moved. They're gone. And in a lot of cases, they still own the property, but they'll rent the property out. Because, shoot, why not collect a few extra dollars? Why not take some government subsidies? Why not flip a few dollars in your pockets? And what happens is that the few people left there are just overwhelmed to a point where they got to go too. And whether you want to like it or accept it or not, Ms. Beasley, your father's legacy, that is your father's legacy. And Tariq, progressivism ain't going to get us back there. But what do I know? I'm just a moron that hates the establishment and wants them to stop lying. And wants the people of my district and surrounding areas to get to get proper bang for their buck for what they put out. Because for what they pay, Irvington should be spotless. Irvington shouldn't have the mouse problem that it has. Irvington shouldn't have a lot of the problems that it has. But that's capitalism for you, right? So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, yeah, go ahead, do that too. I ain't scared of you. Sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute don't like me like that. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? I mean, you got basically, and the Scion is child, Scion is offspring. In case you didn't know what the word meant, and it's name recognition. It's one of the reasons why I'd have such a hard time going against Payne or going against Rice, because of the name recognition and all the old people who are just locked in. It's why these communities can't and won't get anywhere. I mean, at least that's what I think. But let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next one.